I am officially considering this movie a cry for help. I'm John Stark from movieguy.com, and in case you didn't look at the title, this is a review of Me Time. Oh, it's the latest attempt from Netflix to kill us, literally murder us by releasing shitty movies into the world. And making people, I don't know, fall asleep while driving in a car because they just tried to watch Me Time and just couldn't do it. And they just got in their car and just tried to drive away from the world, and they fell asleep. And I don't know. I don't know where that scenario was going, but this movie's fucking terrible. I don't know what's happening to Kevin Hart and Mark Wahlberg's deals with Netflix. I don't know. I said the same thing about Jamie Foxx when that Day Shift came out. That movie was terrible. And these are people who, by the way, are releasing like recurring Netflix projects to make me believe they have a deal. I mean, Kevin Hart has been trapped on Netflix for quite some time now. And Mark Wahlberg has been trapped on Netflix for quite some time now. I'd love to be able to see them get back into something with the kind of directors and writers that actually are good for them. Where the fuck is Peter Berg when Mark Wahlberg needs him? Where? Is he not doing films anymore? Did they break up? Peter Berg needs to call Mark Wahlberg like ASAP and be like, listen, we're making a movie. It's a true story because that's all I ever make with you. And we're gonna get into this. This movie is not funny. It spends like far too long talking about shitting on a bed. It is the most obnoxiously awful film of the year, I think, in terms of what it could be, what it should have been, and the fact that I feel like I've seen this movie 1,000 times before. First of all, I can acknowledge the fact that Kevin Hart has already made this film before with Central Intelligence, where he's kind of like the straight-laced dude at home, and then like The Rock enters his life, and his life gets wacky for a little while, and it's like, okay, well now that's basically the same thing with Mark Wahlberg, except with less action and far less interesting. If you ever thought Central Intelligence was a shitty film, watch this. I promise you, I would rather watch Central Intelligence 374 times before watching Me Time one more time. This is the kind of film where they didn't even bother to like really do good credits at the beginning and at the end. They left it sort of like the same way they do their TV shows, where it's got like, do you know how like with movies they open up and they're like 20th Century Fox produces with under Amblin Entertainment, and it like lists like all of those things and like rolls it out. And it's like casting by, executive produced by, directed by, everything at the top of the film. And then at the end, you get sort of like the same vibe. This film doesn't have that at all. It feels much more like how the TV shows start and end. Like there was supposed to be a second episode to this or something. And it's just, I don't know. I don't know what Netflix is doing, and I'm deeply disturbed by the idea that something like The Sandman, which is like number one in the world, may not get a second season simply because of the cost, so that Netflix can regurgitate some of the worst movies being made right now Netflix is making some of the worst films of the year are consistently coming out of Netflix. This is again one of the worst films of the year, along with shit like Brazen and Interceptor and Marmaduke and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and just like a Spiderhead. Uh, I mean, I've seen so many crappy films coming out of Netflix. And so many mediocre ones too, that just because I'm not naming them, that doesn't mean that they're great. They're just like, there's a lot of mediocrity. It's weird to look back at Netflix and be like two of the best films I think they've made this year. One was that documentary Girl in the Picture, and the other one is Hustle. Like, Adam Sandler has actually managed to make legitimately one of the best films of the year, to the point where it's actually being submitted for Oscar consideration. Um, this is just Kevin Hart doing stuff he's done before, and Mark Wahlberg is coming in, and I've seen this film before. I feel like I've seen this film before, where there was like a normal guy at home, and his best friend rolls into town, and he's wacky and crazy, and then Kevin Hart has to, or whichever actor that was, yells at him and is like, "You're ruining my life." And then he has to go and make up with that friend because, he learns sad truths about that friend and about himself, and realizes that friend made him better and he had fun. And I mean, like, that's like the film. That's what this is. It's just they somehow kidnapped Regina Hall against her will, and they put her in this film as well, so that way they could have a third person in here that is talented and also being dismally affected by being in this film. This is I can, it's like 10 reasons of terrible. I could just keep listing various. I mean, they keep talking about trying to like poop places. That's the kind of humor. They take a leak in a pool. This is not broad humor. This is not well written. Somebody didn't come in here and write like, "Ooh, let's get up in this." The funny thing is, you have one of the funniest guys in comedy. Why not just like Kevin Hart write the fucking movie? Like, why not just give him and be like, "Hey, dude, want to write a movie?" It's just, I don't even know. The director, I didn't recognize his name. I'm assuming after this film, no one's ever going to hire him again because this thing was atrocious. It just doesn't even make sense. There's like this thing where they run over a turtle, but it's like some special turtle like the whole fucking neighborhood knows. And it's just, there's like he has to like go take it, and there's a scene where Mark Wahlberg is literally trying to tell Kevin Hart to like give it like mouth to mouth and like breathe into its nose. It's one of the most profoundly stupid films of the year, starring two of the best, most talented, most charismatic people, and none of it is funny. Nothing works. There wasn't a single thing here that I was like, "Oh, that's cool." I'm struggling to find a reason to not just straight up give this film an F grade, because I hated all of it. Like, every frame, every second, every little bit of it. I don't think anybody wanted to be in this film. I don't even think people who like were given the opportunity to like, "Oh, this is my first film, I'm really excited to be on the set with Mark Wahlberg and Kevin Hart." I think somewhere along the way, like, they started reading the script and they were like, "Fuck, this is one of those Netflix films." Unfortunately, the audio description is fine. That's why you get to learn all about the pooping, and it's, I'm. It's exhausting. Please don't watch this movie. Please watch something else. Honestly, I kind of feel bad for shitting on Day Shift because Day Shift is more watchable than this. This is, again, this really truly might be in my bottom 10 of the year. It's not funny. It's so frustratingly not funny for a Kevin Hart film. At least Man from Toronto made me laugh a couple times. However, I'd like to point out something before we pat Netflix on the back. That was an acquisition. That was Sony not having enough faith to release that film theatrically that they sold it to Netflix. So Netflix didn't make that shit. Somebody else did. And so that's why Man from Toronto was watchable. This was Netflix making a Netflix film and just letting, like, can I make a Netflix film? Will Netflix give me like some major celebrities and just let me direct? I'll just like hold up my iPhone, the way this, and I'll just bring some people into it, and I'll be like, oh, I've got Jamie Foxx and Kevin Hart in this film now, and just roll with it. I don't know what the film will be about, but I don't think it really matters. God. And I know at the end of the year, Netflix probably bought like 3 films that they think are like high Oscar contenders. I know White Noise is getting a lot of buzz. Apparently it's like $200 million that they threw at Noah Baumbach, who I don't think collectively his entire career he's ever had $200 million thrown at him. But like across all of his films, like if you added up the budgets of all of his films, I don't think he's ever had $200 million. But supposedly that's a $200 million film. And it's like, that's the kind of budgeting. You know what I'm saying? Like when you start spending $200 million on a Noah Baumbach film, that's why you can't have a second season of The Sandman. It's because you have no idea how to budget your films. None. You have no idea how to make good films. You have no idea how to market them. You don't know what to do with them. You have actors that are trapped in development deals. God. Anyway, this movie is quite literally shit. And it features shit frequently. It likes to talk about it a lot. So have fun with that. That's the humor that Mark Wahlberg and Kevin Hart have reached in their life. That's the humor that, I'm sorry, Academy Award nominee Mark Wahlberg has reached in his life. I'd like to remind everybody of that real quick. Yeah. So I think Kevin Hart, if this is his penance for that whole Oscars thing, forgiven. Please stop making shitty films. Just can we get him out of his Netflix? Was his Netflix contract like a repercussion of the fallout of that whole thing with the Oscars years ago, where they were like, sorry, you can only work for Netflix now, and he's like, shit. I know he's just waiting for like another Jumanji film. He's dying for that to happen. He's like, please God, rescue me. Yeah, this movie's terrible. For some reason, I'm gonna be nice. I think it's because I just love Mark Wahlberg and Kevin Hart and Regina Hall. I do feel like in like some small part of me that the 2 F grades that I've given to Marmaduke and Brazen, that somehow, even though I can't tangibly find the one thing that made this film better than them, that this film is slightly better than that. So I'm going to give Me Time a D-. It's just a hair above failure. just there. Congratulations, you've made it just slightly above failure. This movie's terrible. So, congratulations on making it through this review where I just ramble. Sometimes I don't even know where to start with him. I just watch a film and I'm like, oh my god, and I am not a person who likes to shut off films, so I force myself to finish this shit. I know other critics, they'll back out and they'll be like, it's on streaming, so I can just stop watching and I could review a 20 minutes of an hour and 40-minute film. No, I watched the whole damn thing. So, I even watched the extended sequence where his son gets to sing Hallelujah for like the whole thing. And then Kevin Hart's like, that was shit. I was like, dude, God, is that supposed to be funny? It was like, we listened to your kid sing Hallelujah and then you just shout at him. Anyway, all right, so let me know what you think in the comments. Actually, if you like this film, just keep it to yourself. I don't even care. I really don't want to know. I don't want to know people who liked Me Time. I'd prefer not to know who those people are, and just I don't want to ever like run into somebody who's like, oh my god, Me Time's the best movie of the year. I don't know who that person is, but we don't need to know each other. So let me know how much you hated this movie in the comments. Throw me a like and then subscribe. And you can check out more of my reviews at macthemovieguy.com. You can go to the audio description project, adp.acb.org, for more movies with audio description that are not this, and the adna.org for more films with audio description. I feel bad for the people who have this on their resume. So, yeah, that's it. I gotta go watch more movies. I gotta have a palate cleanser. And I'll see you on the other side, hopefully.